we're talking about spending 6 figures a year in credit pulls.
Wow.
And so, you know, across large companies or across our whole company, 7 figures in credit pulls, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, save a few commas, you know, save $1 million, $2 million. That's going to get passed on to the consumer because mortgage isn't getting any less competitive. And so, you know, if we find a way to deliver the product cheaper.
Folks, have you heard the news? Apparently the mortgage landscape is changing and changing all the time. Now you can use your Vantage score. I got to admit, I'm not in mortgage. I have no idea what a Vantage score is, but based on the headlines I've seen, it is a big deal. So we're going to figure out what it is, and then Matt, the mortgage guy, and I are going to riff and see, is it a big deal or is it just a big fat nothing burger? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a few messages on this, so I figure it was worth talking about because people are curious based on, you know, some of the questions I'm getting. July 8th, this week, FHFA announced that they're now allowing mortgage lenders to use this Vantage Score 4.0 for underwriting loans that are sold to Fannie and Freddie. And so I know there's been talk in the broker world, how fast will different wholesale lenders adopt this? I saw an interesting thing yesterday.
Well, let me do me a favor. I got to tell you, probably like a lot of my audience, we're not in the business. I'm not even sure I know what a Vantage score is.
Well, for my understanding too, and quite honestly, I'm not an expert, but it's just another scoring model.
So it's just another credit score.
Yeah, but they use some alternative data, which they say that this Vantage score is going to open up lending to a wider pool because it uses rent, utility, telecom data.
Oh, is that what a Vantage? Okay, so I have heard of this. Yeah. FHFA.
The one that's got like the 2-year trended data, which they say like this one is going to help lower income or thinner file borrowers. Like that's some of the stuff that I've heard out of it. For lenders, although this announcement was made, doesn't mean we're using it yet. And so some of the stuff that I was hearing yesterday was, you know, there's always the talk amongst, you know, there's retail lenders, there's banks and credit unions, there's brokers. And this guy that was talking was saying, hey, I'm not trying to pick a fight or pick sides or say this model's better than that one. But the advantage that brokers are going to have, undoubtedly, is that when this model gets adopted by any one of the 60 lenders that I broker to, or in this guy's argument, maybe it's someone I don't broker to, I sign up for because they're a quarter or two ahead of these other banks, credit unions, direct lenders. And so if you work for Movement Mortgage, and I'm not picking on them, I'm just picking a retail lender, and they don't adopt this, you don't have the ability to use this scoring model. If you're a broker and UWM adopts it or AFR adopts it or Windsor Mortgage adopts it, you don't need anyone else to adopt it. You've got a borrower who's going to benefit from that scoring model. You use it, you send it to that wholesale lender, and you have access to it with only one of 60 of your wholesale lenders actually using it. So I guess we'll see. I don't think, from what I've seen, it's not going to be something that gets turned on tomorrow. The thing that I'm excited about, I think mortgage companies are excited about, is mortgage credit scoring has become so gosh darn expensive. If you knew, Mike, like we've got a deal with a big credit provider, you know, to pull the now standard Equifax TransUnion. God, where have I been for a week? Why can't I remember the third one?
It's okay. Yeah, there are typically 3.
Yeah. The tri-merge. Oh my gosh, this is wild. But that tri-merge pull that we do now, the cost of that has gone from, I think it was $30 or $40 when I started in mortgage a decade ago. It's like between $150 or $180, depending on who you get your credit reports through.
Inflation is everywhere.
Yeah, you know, granted that is like, hey, you give us a certain number of free soft pulls, and with that, we're going to pay you more for hard pulls, but we're going to get free soft pulls. But either way, like the cost is tripled, quadrupled in some cases for these. So maybe if lenders can pull Vantage 4 and submit a loan that way, and that's only $50 or whatever the cost is, maybe it's something. And that's another thing. Whenever
Well, let's talk about this idea, because I've been hearing for, I want to say, a couple of years that we need to open it up. And how it was always positioned to me was we got to help renters qualify better, right? You called it a thin file. I think that makes a lot of sense, right? If you've been a renter for a long time and paying your mortgage or paying your rent, excuse me, you should get credit for that, right? And apparently Vantage Score does that. You know, your utility bills, you know, Comcast or whatever. That makes sense to me. I think frankly it's a great idea, because one of the things, again, having had my credit pulled dozens of times, rent's not on there, utilities not on there. And, you know, for someone who's maybe been saving for a long time and been renting for 5 years, to have a thin file is probably not accurate, right? Because you've been paying your rent for 5 years in a row. That's, you know, 60 payments. So I think it makes a lot of sense to me to include these other things.
I love it for that reason, you know, access for more borrowers and the borrowers that need it the most.
And probably cheaper credit, I would guess, right? I don't know for sure, but I would guess a thin file adds risk profile and you probably get a higher rate. But if you add in 5-year track record of paying your rent, I'm going to guess, you know, the whole thing of this is you're going to get a lower rate. So not only is it access, but it's cheaper access.
Yeah, cheaper access. You're exactly right. You're going to get better terms. And the thing that I always think about when you've got something that everybody is kind of forced to use and they've got somewhat of a monopoly on it, competition helps everybody.
Yes.
You get, you know, Vantage 4 out. Maybe they say, hey, we've also got another competitor that wants to play ball. You can use this one, this one, this one, or this one.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, like you
want to see the tri-merge get cheaper? You vote for Vantage, because again, when you're the 3 and you're the behemoth, you can just rack up prices, and now you get Vantage.
It's been ridiculous. Like the credit
makes sense.
You know, small little branch of one little like mortgage broker shop. We're talking about spending 6 figures a year in credit pulls.
Wow.
And so, you know, across large companies or across our whole company, 7 figures in credit pulls, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, save a few commas, you know, save $1 million, $2 million. That's going to get passed on to the consumer because mortgage isn't getting any less competitive. And so, you know, if we find a way to deliver the product cheaper, we're going to deliver it to the consumer cheaper, so we win more business. And so everybody wins with more competition, which is, you know, it seems like it's all positive stuff. More access.
And then the other thing you brought up, I think the other thing you brought up is the real key, competition. And here it's going to be who adopts Vantage first, right? Is it going to be the community banks, savings and loans, right? Or credit unions? Is it going to be like, which big wholesaler is going to rush this through and bring it to bear? Because I think that is also, because you can get some early adopter, you can really jump to the front of the line. I think net, you know, again, I know nothing about the Vantage Score itself, but it seems to do all the right things, right? You open it up to people who deserve it and you force competition. Again, to your point, maybe credit pulls get cheaper, right? There's nothing like disinflation to get it cheaper. And, oh, by the way, competition is good for the consumer. So frankly, I don't see anything bad with it. It seems like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that bad can come out of it. You know, all the mortgage problems we got into back in the heyday was not worrying about credit scores at all. In this case, we're just using a different model. It's going to help a new tranche of people who might have not had access get access. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's have a little fun with this. You actually spent the last, 4, 5, 6 days in Vegas as a part of the World Series of Poker, something I've seen on TV lots of times. And I could not imagine playing that much poker for that long. It actually looks like a workout, right? Because you're there for 10 hours. How was it? How was your experience? What was the results?
It was okay. So the results first, I busted about 300 out of the money. But I played the main event. I had somebody gracious enough to back me and pony up the $10,000 to put me in the tournament, which people don't know about me since I've been in mortgage for over a decade. Is the decade before mortgage, I spent a decade managing a poker room, and stumbled into managing a poker room as a poker player. And so I've been playing poker for over 20 years, met my beautiful wife, who I've been married to for 17, in a poker room 20 years ago. And so it's poker.
It's in your blood.
Yeah. And poker to me is kind of nostalgic. It reminds me of my early 20s. Back then, Mike, like 2003, 4, and 5, Chris Moneymaker won the main event.
Yeah,
it was on TV. It was super popular. And to be quite honest, poker was easy. I was making almost as much money playing poker as a hobby as I was in my day job, just because a lot of recreational players were playing. It was a fun social game. And rather than throw away $300 or $500 on a blackjack table, mortgage brokers and real estate agents and anybody else who was taking part in that booming economy were going and spending their expendable money at casinos playing poker. I was gladly taking that money from them.
So you're better than the average bear, is what you're telling me.
Better than your average bear, even though, you know, the cards didn't cooperate this year and I didn't get anything going. I think for the cards I was dealt, lasting for 3 days was an accomplishment itself, because I really the deck did not cooperate. But it's fun. It's a fun event. And
was this the first time you played the main event or no?
No, the wife and I both played it. We both won our way in, I think in like 2008.
Okay.
And then she played it again in 2015. And then she played it in 2022. So the running joke amongst friends is that my wife's the better poker player of the two.
And now have either of you in all those attempts made it to the money or not yet?
Me and my wife were trying to figure out how close she was, because she made it to day 3 in 2015. We were thinking, how funny would it be if we both got like 1,766th or whatever the heck I got, right? Like it was real. It was in the same realm, but yeah, it's a fun hobby. And with the boys getting older, it's probably going to be our retirement hobby, where we go out and, you know, it's a fun hobby when you can take a vacation, you can play some poker, and you come home with more than you left with, Mike. Like,
that's when you know you're a good poker player.
that's fun.
There you go. Well, let's get back to Vantage. If anybody wanted to call and ask questions about Vantage, see if you can help them, because you are a broker and you will be first to know if somebody does it. What do they do?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com. Ping me on any of my socials. You know, if you send me a DM on Instagram, or you message me on School, if you're part of the School community. If you're not, join School. $20 a month to be around hundreds of like-minded investors.
422 as of this morning.
Yeah, you will by osmosis, just being around people that are rowing in that direction.
Yep.
Your boat will move in that direction as a real estate
being
investor.
around wealth builders is really the key. I totally agree.
And so, yeah, that's probably the best. Send me a DM. People DM me in School all the time,
Awesome.
or on, you know, Matt the Mortgage Guy on Instagram or anywhere else. Happy to answer those questions, and rest assured, if you follow me on social, I'll be posting as that stuff comes out and as the changes come out.
Very cool, man. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks, Mike.